इतिहास का मैं आईना हूं, तहजीब का रंग सुनहरा हूं। गंगा जमुना मेरी आंखें, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा। मैं कल भी था, मैं आज भी हूं, मैं नवयुग का अंदाज भी हूं। सारी दुनिया का घर मुझ में, इस मिट्टी का आदर मुझ में। मैं देशभक्त भी गहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं। मैं बेटी की मुस्कान में हूं, मैं नारी के सम्मान में हूं। मैं बेटी की मुस्कान में हूं, मैं नारी के सम्मान में हूं। विज्ञान में और किसान में हूं, हर वीर में और जवान में हूं। मैं सीमाओं का पहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं। अब चांद पे पांव जमाना है, सूरज से आंख मिलाना है। एक नया सवेरा लाना है, संकल्प नया दोहराना है। न ठहरा था, न ठहरा हूं, न ठहरा था, न ठहरा हूं। मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं।
Hello and a good afternoon, all of you who have just tuned in right now from all across the country to this very upskilling digital session that we are hosting today. I am your host, Anurima, and today I will be taking you through a session, through a workshop that will enlighten us on something that we all grapple with in our everyday lives, and that is time management. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it sounds very simple. Time management. Wake up early, sleep on time, eat on time, and your life and your day is scheduled. But is it? हमने कई बार सुना है, a lot of people say there are only 24 hours in a day. How do you manage everything? And then there are people like Elon Musk who can divide their 24 hours into 5-minute blocks. Now, how do you do that? What is time management? Is it all about micromanaging your schedule? Well, I would say here comes the second part of time management, which is choosing clarity and choosing purpose over panic. Let's stop giving examples and theories. We are all here present. जितने भी आप log in हुए हैं, हम सब यहाँ जो discuss करें, we all belong to the event management and the entertainment industry. हम अपनी बात करते हैं. Let me share a very recent experience with you. So I'd been to this event in Banaras. The schedule was very simple. Day 1 event in Banaras, day 2 event in Kolkata. The difference between the two events is 24 hours, and the difference in distance is only 2 hours by flight. So, of course, as an artist, I had no struggle. I was very happy I would be able to finish one and reach another on time. But now you will understand the practical situation. The client and the event manager, everybody knew my flight time. But in Banaras, the event started late, it finished off late, and after I somehow hopped into a car and reached the airport, the flight was gone. I came back to the hotel, very disappointed. What to do? I have to again take tomorrow's flight, reach the venue from right there. But I did not waste the time because as an artist, you cannot. I sat there and I worked on my script. Okay, time managed. The next day, I again went to the airport. Flight started getting late. And by the time I reached Kolkata, I just had 1 hour time to reach the venue. And now comes the next debacle. I'm standing at the baggage belt and I realize my baggage never reached Kolkata. Yes, the whole luggage with the outfit, the makeup, the accessories, everything is gone. What do I do? Do I break down, start crying? No, time management. I book a cab to the venue. I call my designer, ask him to deliver an outfit to the venue while I'm reaching. फिर मैं खोलती हूँ क्विक डिलीवरी एप्स जहां से आप सब्जियां मंगवाते हैं. मैं कोशिश करती हूँ कुछ मेकअप मिल जाए. And when I finally reach the venue, little bit of makeup, the outfit, everything is there. I get ready in 20 minutes and I'm totally charged up. I enter the banquet, still very guilty because I'm still 1 hour late. And my event manager and my client welcomes me. Hello, Anurimaji. Have a cup of coffee. We'll be starting off in a short while. And that short while comes 3 hours later. Because it's always safe to call the MC a little earlier. 3 घंटे कुछ भी नहीं है. आके acclimatize करने की जरूरत पड़ती है. But you should have informed me. I could have saved myself from a few panic attacks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I, and not only me, all of you who are working in this industry for a considerable period of time know how to micromanage your schedules. But still, sometimes when we are juggling between multiple deadlines, we get worn off, we get tired. And this is exactly where the second part of time management comes in. Choosing what is more important in your life, what to make space for in your time, and what to let go. Today, we do not only have an invigorating session with Carol Titus, but we also have a very interesting panel discussion right after that, जहां आपको इन सब के जवाब मिल जाएंगे. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me dive right into the event. And to start off with, I'd first of all like to thank our EEMA Artist Committee that always is thriving to empower our creative community with these skill enhancing sessions. And now I'd like to introduce our NEC Sonu Nanda, VP East. Sonu, if you could set the tone for the session.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I welcome you on behalf of the entire NEC. And of course, as Arunima says, the artist committee is doing fantastic. Thank you, Gitika, Nani, everyone who is putting up so much effort to make this happen. So, fortunately, unfortunately, this is one of my best session that I have been pulled in, because for me, when I get excited, when I get angry, when I get impatient, it is only because if there is a lack of time management. See, I'll tell you a very small story. If you believe that we all are into event management, so I run an event company. There are artists, there are vendor partners, there are venue managers. So one event is being done with the curative effort of all these stakeholders. किसी एक का अगर टाइम मैनेजमेंट में प्रॉब्लम होता है ना, द एंटायर थिंग इज इन अ सूप. तो वो बहुत मुश्किल वाली चीज होती है. एंड आई हैव एन बैकग्राउंड ऑफ मैनेजिंग गवर्नमेंट इवेंट फॉर लास्ट 25 and 30 years. मुझे गवर्नमेंट के अलावा कुछ और दिखता भी नहीं है. एंड दोज आर हु आर इनटू गवर्नमेंट, दे कुड इजीली अंडरस्टैंड द वैल्यू ऑफ टाइम. अब जैसे अरुणिमा ने कहा कि यार अगर आपको 3 घंटे बाद शो स्टार्ट करना है, आप एंकर को क्यों बोल देते हो. आई ऑल्सो अग्री दैट इन केस ऑफ सोशल एंड कॉर्पोरेट दैट इज फाइन, बट इन अ गवर्नमेंट इवेंट वी कांट टेक ए रिस्क. आई जस्ट गिव यू अ स्मॉल एग्जांपल, देन I don't want to waste much of your time. लास्ट ईयर एग्जैक्टली इसी महीने इसी डेट में हमारे यहाँ सरकार का इलेक्शन हुआ, एंड आफ्टर 25 years BJP has come and there was a oath taking ceremony of honorable chief minister, newly elected chief minister from BJP, and that work has been assigned to us. And I have the time when honorable Modi ji was there and Amit Shah is there, the previous chief minister 24 years सब जिन्होंने किया उड़ीसा का नवीन पटनायक जी वो भी हैं और नए चीफ मिनिस्टर भी साथ में है. टाइम वाज 11:30 in the morning. I asked the anchor to come at 8:30 because normally गवर्नमेंट इवेंट में स्पेसिफिक एंकर्स होते हैं जो हम क्या प्रेफर करते हैं, क्लाइंट ही प्रेफर करते हैं भाई इन्हीं के साथ करना, because there is no problem during the event. And unfortunately, yeah, fortunately, I have decided to take two anchors for that show. One reached on time, one who is supposed to start, she was bit late, सिर्फ half an hour late हो गया. As Modi ji has arrived in Bhubaneswar, there is a kiosk in the traffic and she couldn't reach the venue on time. By the time she reaches, it is just half an hour. She has not been allowed to get inside the
Mm.
venue. Can you imagine at this point of time, so many people looking at me? I am standing just in the backstage and everybody is looking. कोई कुछ बोल नहीं रहा है, उनकी एक्सप्रेशन सारी चीज बता रहे हैं. मुझे लग रहा है 30 साल की मेहनत तो गई आज यहाँ पे. So this is very crucial. So time management is very important. Even I understand artist हो, event managers हो, कोई कोई ना अपना टाइम प्रोफेशनली मैनेज कर देते हैं आराम से, लेकिन पर्सनल लाइफ में ना उनका टाइम मैनेजमेंट ठीक नहीं होता. पर आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट ईच एंड एवरी वन, पर्सनल प्रोफेशनल दोनों टाइम अगर आप ठीक से मैनेज करें ना, तो आराम से हम कर सकते हैं. सी, इवेंट मैनेजर को कोई डिफाइन कर सके, आप कभी अकेले बैठिए, इसका डेफिनेशन पूछिए. मुझे लगता है जो बेस्ट क्राइसिस मैनेजर होता है ना, वो सबसे अच्छा इवेंट मैनेजर होता है. पर हम क्राइसिस को कैसे मैनेज करें? अगर हमारे पास टाइम हो, अगर हमारी इवेंट आज शाम को 6 बजे स्टार्ट होना है, तो यस्टरडे वी हैव टू डू अ ड्राई रन एग्जैक्टली 12 आवर्स बिफोर. लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमें उतना टाइम मिलता नहीं है, वेन्यू उतनी जल्दी हमें मिलती नहीं है कि हम कर लें. लेकिन कम से कम 2-3 घंटे पहले हम रेडी हो जाएं, तो हमें पता तो हो कि कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, टेक्निकल ग्लिच है, स्क्रिप्ट में चेंज है, कोई गेस्ट का प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, किसी आर्टिस्ट का प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. सो इट इज ऑल अबाउट द टाइम मैनेजमेंट. अगर हम अच्छे टाइम मैनेजर है ना, तो हम अच्छे इवेंट मैनेजर हैं. तो इवेंट मैनेजर का मतलब मैं नहीं हूँ. हर वो इंसान जो एक इवेंट में इन्वॉल्व होता है, चाहे वो टेक्नीशियन हो, चाहे आर्टिस्ट हो, चाहे वेन्यू मैनेजर हो, चाहे लाइसेंसिंग वाले भी हो, वो सारा मिला के इट्स अ टीम. So everyone has to manage the time. That is what I have to tell. Don't want to waste any time. And thank you, Artist Committee, for curating such beautiful skill enhancing, sessions for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonu. And definitely, time management के बारे में हमने already सीखना शुरू कर दिया है, because if you were listening to Sonu very vividly as I was, you can understand that time management शुरू होता है homework से. When you have prior time and prior homework, you don't waste time in the actual event. Now, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, my next speaker is none other than Gitika Ganjudhar, the chair EEMA Artist Committee, and she has been a guiding force behind all these initiatives that upskill us, that enhance our qualities. Gitika, let us know more about our upcoming and ongoing events.
Thank you, Anirima, and thank you for stepping up and hosting this event for us. Namaha Aste, everybody. And thank you, Sonu Nanda, also my very dear friend. You bring such sparkling human energy to the office that you hold in EEMA. Thank you for taking the time out and joining us here this afternoon. And thank you to all the experts who have joined us, Carol, Shantini, Marianne, everybody. Thank you very much. So, Sonu was narrating an incident as to how an anchor couldn't reach on time at a government event. We don't have the time here today, but if I had the time, I would tell you all a hilarious but very, very traumatic incident of me running on the roads of Kolkata trying to reach on time for an event with the head of state, how I had to remove my heels, and I was wearing a red sari. I had to lift the sari, make it into a lungi, and how I was running, and seriously no fault of mine because I had attempted to report nearly 3 hours ago. So these things happen in our profession. Friends, all of you watching, all the artists who are members of EEMA, and also artists from across the country, because we have a lot of non-EMA members also who log in and take advantage of our sessions. We have a lot coming up in the months ahead with regards the upskilling series. We had slotted 2 sessions immediately, but we've had to now postpone them because Imagine is coming up and everyone has to focus their energies towards that. But we have 2 more sessions of upskilling coming up virtually. One is on storytelling and the other is on grooming. And then we have a physical session on ground coming up in the West. So all of that is lined up with the upskilling series. We have a fantastic video on how to navigate sound as an artist, whether you're an MC, you're a singer, you're a speaker, you're an illusionist, a performer. We have a very, very professionally made educational video on sound that we will be sharing with all of you shortly in a few weeks. Lots of more initiatives have been planned, but now everyone's focusing on Imagine. To all the artist members who are watching, this really are 3 days that you should take out for yourselves, because success doesn't only come by creating marketing strategies, working hard on location, networking well, etc., etc. Success, real success, long-term success, and iconic status comes from constant learning and upskilling, and leave everything aside, but that is the core of Imagine Now over the last few years. And this year too, the NEC, the entire team, everybody, they've put together some very important sessions that will arm you with so much knowledge, so much experience, so much insight, that it's going to help you in your career. So please must register, must put aside these 2 3 days for interacting with your fraternity, for being a part of the dialogue, learning, networking, creating professional bonds, and also letting your hair down and relaxing with people who really are your second family, whether you realize it already or not. So, one, a huge shout out for Imagine 2025. Two, lots more coming up from our side at the EEMA Artist Committee. And three, I urge everyone who's our member, an artist member. There are so many documents and initiatives that we have already put out, whether it's the Artist Ally doc, whether it's the Artist Collective deck, whether it's the GST document, whether it's the feedback form. We have so many documents that are on the EMA website. I still get questions on the group. Where do I get a photographer in Chennai, or how do I write a MOU? How do I do this? But we've already given you all of this. So there's no point of us doing all this work, and it's really taking man hours out of our calendars. We're doing this work. We're putting it out there for you. At least look at your notifications of the Harmony group. Take a look at what we're putting out. Try and make it a part of your business processes, because we can only bring the change and put it onto your table. But until you, as the ecosystem, don't adopt it, it's really of no productive use, really. So I urge you all once again, keep a track of what we're offering and what we're doing for all of you. A lot has happened this year. I think 5x of what has happened this year will be delivered next year. Come join the movement. This is genuine movement for transformation for artists across the country. We need as many of you raising your hands. So once again, I'll say, join us. Our doors are wide open. And the video that I'm now going to play for you is an example of how you just have to raise your hand and say, I want to contribute. So Tuhin called me a few weeks back, and we had a conversation, and we got talking, and I said, would you like to make an easy breezy video that has some tips for voice modulation for our artists? So he's also our artist member. He's made something for our artist members. I'm going to play it for you now, and then hand the show over back to our host. Once again, thank you to all the experts. Thank you, Arpita, my EEMA brand ambassador, for driving this from the back end. And thank you to everybody in the secretariat. Let's take a look at this video created by Tuhin, my artist member at EEMA, for all of you. It will also be shared on the Harmony group, other EEMA groups, and also will be DM'd to you. We have a lot more coming up. Stay tuned, stay connected, and step forward and contribute, because time will be kind to those who contribute their time selflessly for others. Try and remember this. Have a good day.
Hi, my name is Tuhin. I've been a radio jockey, event MC, voiceover artist, and a podcaster for 18 years. Today, I'm here to talk about the most important aspect of your character, and that is your voice. 5 things you should do before stepping on the stage to address the crowd or to go in a meeting or before any present. Number 5. Do a big yawn, open your mouth, and when you exhale, do it with a sigh. Oxygen flow will start happening. So you need to speak from your diaphragm. But how do you speak from here? It's very simple. When you inhale, your stomach should fill in. When you exhale, your stomach should go inside. Inhale from your nose, exhale from your mouth, and keep your hand on your stomach. Inhale. Inhale for 4 seconds. You hold your breath for 4 seconds, and then you exhale for 4 seconds. 4 seconds. 3, resonating exercise. When you inhale, this time you will do the hum. You can keep your hand here. You'll feel the vibration. Inhale. Your mouth open as well. Inhale. Say 3 things. One is me. When you ma. Now you have to say pa. Pa. Now say da. Da. Feel your voice is opening up. You got more baritone. You're speaking from your stomach. Let's move on to the next exercise. Do lip thrills. Lip thrills so that your enunciation will be okay. Your jaw is with the lip thrills without voice. Now do it with voice. In a meeting or presentation, there's a lot of adrenaline inside you. So do this exercise right before you enter for your act. And that is walk fast, breathe, do push-ups, do stretches. This way that adrenaline will put your body to a calm and a rest position. Do the exercise and go rock the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that lovely video. And thank you so much, Gitika, for enlightening us. And that incident that you just mentioned, am I audible? And the incident that you just mentioned in Kolkata, it is very famous in our Kolkata even industry, and we all know that story. And what I take about time management from that story is that if you belong to our industry and if time is succinct, don't think about grace and fairness, just run. Just get your heels in your hand and run and reach, because that matters. And we'll talk about graceful emceeing later. Ladies and gentlemen, now moving on, it's time. See, this is our session. Not only the expert is speaking, but even before the expert is speaking, we are learning something from every speaker. And now it's time that I finally introduce our expert for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, what an interesting bio. Carol Titus, a leadership coach, a facilitator, and a founder of Kale Interfaces. She has over 25 years of experience and has worked extensively with senior leaders across industries to enhance personal and team effectiveness. She uses her deep coaching insights and practical tools to help leadership development, time management, and behavioral transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together, show some energy and claps in our chat box as I welcome our speaker, Carol Titus. And before Carol, I would, we have with us our star member of the community, Arpita Chaudhary, ladies and gentlemen. I've taken this opportunity to introduce Arpita here because before Carol speaks, we would like to know, Arpita, what went into curating this session and how interesting was it? And especially because you are managing time very well, you are managing it from a different part of the world. So how are you doing it?
Hi, Anuruma, and Namaskar, everyone. I am Arpita Chaudhary, and I'm proud to serve as the EEMA Artist Ambassador. And it's an honor to stand here today and have this conversation. Before I say anything else, I would have to take this opportunity and thank our entire EMA secretariat led by the exceptional team of Preeti Khanna ji, Khyati, Tushar, Rimi. Your unwavering support and dedication have been instrumental in empowering the artist community to thrive and deliver impactful initiatives like this. Today is a very special day as we see that, we are talking about time, and as they say, that time and tide waits for none. So I'll not waste any more time. And I'd just like to give a special thank you to Anurima. Thank you so much for bringing your infectious energy here. And RJ Tuhin, thank you so much for moderating the session, for agreeing to do it. And also your, tips and tricks video. I'm sure so many artists are going to find it useful. It's going to help them in so many ways. Thank you so much. And to our esteemed panelists, Shayantani and Marianne, thank you for stepping up to contribute your time and expertise to the workshop, which we know will enrich all of us. And to Carol, our expert, thank you for stepping up to lead the workshop and share your invaluable insights, which we eagerly anticipate and I'm sure will elevate this experience. And finally, I would like to thank our lovely audience present here today. Thank you so much for joining here. I'm sure that everybody is learning so much from these upskilling workshop. So we are trying to do these workshops which will help better our ecosystem, artist ecosystem. And we want one thing in return. We want your feedback. So I'll be sending a WhatsApp with a feedback form. Please do have a look at it and tell us honestly, what do you feel about these workshops? Give us suggestions so that we can make it better in the future. So I'll not waste any more time. I'm handing it back to Anuruma, and I hope that this session is going to be really, really beneficial to all of you. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू सो मच अर्पिता फॉर बीइंग विद अस एंड मैं आप सबको बता दूं कि ईमा आर्टिस्ट मेंबर्स, ईमा स्टार मेंबर्स और स्पेशली हमारी एम्बेसडर अर्पिता चौधरी, वी आर सो एक्साइटेड टू बी इन ईमा एंड be every part of the sessions. That Arpita Chaudhary right now is in Spain and from there she is joining us, and हम चाहते हैं कि आप भी देश के अलग अलग प्रांत से हमें ऐसे ही ज्वाइन करते रहे. So ladies and gentlemen, I have already introduced Carol Titus to you all. Over to you, Carol.
Right on. Good afternoon, everyone. I thank EEMA Artists Committee for allowing me to conduct the session for you. And it's been a pleasure listening to everyone talk right from the beginning. Gitika ma'am, Sonu sir, Tuhin, Anurima, and Arpita. Yes, Arpita too. And everyone spoke about time. So I think most of it has been covered, but I will give you the basic things that need to be done for effective time management. Now, everyone has their own little anecdotes of telling us how they spend time or how they have used time or how they are less of time. But all of us have 24 hours in a day. Someone also said that. And how do we use those 24 hours is what is important. Do you know that time is money? How many of you agree? Can I have a show of hands? Time is money, yes. And how much of money? 86,400 seconds during the day, right? So imagine if you had 86,400 rupees put into your account every day, every single day. Okay, how you're going to use it is up to you. But if you don't use it, that's your loss. If you have not made those moments important to you, again, it's lost. It's not going to come back. Okay, so everybody complains about so little time. Even at the start of this session, when we were just doing our tech check and stuff, we found that, some of us found that time was going very slowly. Why? Because we were waiting. We were waiting anxiously for the session to start. Now you see how time speeds up because you're actually doing things that you want to do at the right time. Okay, so to start with, I will share, excuse me, a presentation and we'll go ahead with that. Okay, has that come up? Um, can someone tell me that has the presentation started? Yes, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you are. So much to do, so little time. What to do? Right? So you see that clock running so fast. I wish we could stop that, but there is nothing to do that. So what's the best solution? To actually manage that clock running time. Okay, so what do we have to do? We've got to understand that time is our resource and resources are scarce, right? So we have to manage this resource to the best of our ability. How do we do that? We've got to identify, analyze, and prioritize our tasks. During the day, whatever we do is according to time. And for that, we need to know what is important to get through the day. We've got to also identify and eliminate time wasters. What would time wasters be? Something that does not achieve what you want. And eventually, I will give you 10 tips for effective time management. We'll watch a short video now. Oops. Master your time with all these effective techniques. Right. I think there was a problem with the audio there. I'll just take care of that for the next one. All right. So we look at the importance of time management. And all of us know that we take our time for granted and we don't pay that much of attention to it. Because if we did, then our lives would be more effective, right? So it is not how much we have, but it is rather how we use what we have that is important. So you become more organized, it requires less effort, you have less wastage, you have focused on your chosen activities, and it provides a structure to monitor solutions. So, whatever the problems are there, like everyone mentioned that they had been in a problem, but if you have effective time management tips and techniques to go with, then those problems can be managed. So, we need to take control of our time, and everybody, as I said, 86,400 seconds in a day. So that is the amount of seconds in a day, which is the same for everyone. And if we analyze this time, how to be spent and how to be kept in reserve also, then our day is done. Okay, so how would you manage your workflow? Select one task at a time, time yourself for that task. When doing that task, remember to ignore everything else with no breaks or interruptions. And in the end, you can give yourself a reward. Okay, so let's look at a typical way of doing it. You need to establish a routine. You need to first identify the task, analyze the task, and then prioritize it. So, how would you identify it? Now, this is a normal diary of identifying tasks. So I have put breakfast as second because before that, probably you do something else. And a few items in the middle between breakfast and lunch. And then after lunch, you have the remaining day. So what's the first? I filled it up for you. So you have your wake up routine, 15 minutes, say. Then you have breakfast, another 25 minutes. And along with that, following travel, gymming, snacking, housekeeping. So this is a typical day that you spend at home, not at work. Okay. Then what else happens at home? Obviously, there are some time wasters there. There's TV binging, there's nap time. So you find these that would be normal for those who would be at home on a holiday. But a work day would be different. Okay, so now these you have identified the tasks that you do during the day. Now, what do you have to do? Now you have to analyze the task. What do you do for analyzing them? You find out the need for the task. Do you need this task to be done? If it's yes, fine, go ahead. If it's no, eliminate the task. As simple as that. So if there is a need, you go to the next question. Is it personally suitable to do this? Yes. Cool. Go to the efficiency part. If not, reassign the task. Efficiency. Can this be done in a better way? If yes, then you got to go to reevaluate the task procedure because you found a better way to do it. So you'll go back. But if not, then it becomes a legitimate task and you begin the next stage. The next stage is your prioritize the task. Now, this is a matrix that was shown by Eisenhower. It's a known person. And you put in your task in each quadrant. So if I say if it's urgent and important, you have to do it now. No stopping that. Okay. If I say it's urgent and not important, I can get someone else to do it. So you delegate the task. If it's not urgent but still important, then you plan for it. It does not need to be done right now, but you need to do it. So you plan for it. Finally, if it's not important and not urgent, you dump it. That means you eliminate the task totally. Okay, so this is how I have put in the management, whatever time management that we had earlier into different quadrants. So if you have crisis, it has to be urgent and important to be dealt with immediately. Many pressing matters, medical emergencies, that will come in your first quadrant. Second quadrant, it's not urgent, sorry, but important. Not urgent and important would go as you have to do it. I can delay it. It's not urgent, but it's important. Okay, quadrant number 3, interruptions, phone calls, meetings, pressing problems, urgent, but not important. I can do it later. And the last quadrant, junk mail, phone calls, TV serials, nap time, not urgent, not important, can eliminate and use that time for something else. that would be more productive for you. This is a typical work day. During work, what happens? Urgent, important, not urgent. So these are four quadrants that are in a normal work day. So in a normal work day, you have crises, you have deadlines, you have meetings. So that would all come in urgent and important, and you schedule your time accordingly. But eventually, if you look at the quadrant number four, you have junk mail, you have time wasters, escape activities. These are not important, not urgent. So there you have spare time. So if you eliminate quadrant four, your spare time can be used for one, two, and three. Okay. So there you look at time wasters, which are in your fourth quadrant, which can be eliminated. So these are internal lack of planning, priorities, would be personal disorganization if your desk is messy. Procrastination would be your carrying forward your work even though you know you can finish it. And external time wasters would be visitors, telephone calls, trivia, those would be external. So you manage your personal as well as your professional work time. I have another video. Let me just check on the sound. I have to stop sharing this. Yeah, I'll share that again with the sound. Sorry for that. Share sound.
Do you always feel short of time? Are you constantly pressured to meet deadlines, whether it's at work or at home? If so, you're in need of some essential time management tips. During this video, we will uncover 10 top tips to help you get on top of your tasks and more in charge of your time. Here's how to work smarter, not harder. 1. Declutter your workspace. The first step to time management success is having an organized workspace. If you work in a frantic way, you're bound to waste time searching for papers or files. So, to boost productivity, start by decluttering your workspace and only keep any vital items around you. 2. Create a to-do list. A good to-do list will help you stay on track rather than swaying to and from tasks. And it will also give you a great sense of achievement when you've managed to tick off a large chunk at the end of the day. The best way to create your list is to analyze your tasks towards the end of your shift and prepare for the following day. That way, you won't waste time in the morning when you're most productive on something minor like a list. 3. Prioritize. Now you have your list of duties, you'll need to rank them in order of priority. The way you do this is up to you. You could use a numerical ranking system, highlights, or mental notes. What's important here is to understand which is the most urgent job and get that out of the way first. 4. Set achievable goals. A great way to stay motivated is to set achievable goals. If you have 20 difficult tasks, it's apparent that you won't achieve them all in one day. Therefore, be realistic when prioritizing and creating your list, so that you don't get disappointed when 5 p.m. rolls around. 5. Use organization apps. If you're tech-friendly, an organization app is what you need in your life. You could use a project management tool like Trello to keep your tasks visible and your workflow clear. On the other hand, if you want a simple checklist, Todoist is your perfect match. 6. Don't multitask. Many people assume that multitasking is a great skill to have, but if you're not able to work fluidly, you'll end up bouncing from tasks and wasting time in between. This can also lead to careless mistakes and forgetfulness. 7. Reward yourself. When you finish the big task, why not reward yourself with a treat? This could vary depending on your interests. You might want to order a coffee, a cake, or have a catch-up with your favorite coworker. Just don't overdo it and have 10 cups of coffee a day. That won't help anyone. 8. Stay off social media. Unless you work in marketing, limit your time on social platforms when you're trying to get jobs done. If you really can't resist looking at every notification, put your phone on flight mode or download a social media blocking app. 9. Audit your time. Once you've spent a week following your new plan, audit your time and see how productive you've been. You may see that you can spend less time on certain tasks and adjust your plan accordingly. 10. Take frequent breaks. Taking frequent breaks is crucial when trying to keep productivity levels up. Otherwise, your energy levels will drop and you will end up swaying from your work. Many competing theories suggest specific time frames. However, you should figure out how long you can stay focused for, and then take a 15 to 30-minute break in between. Developing these skills won't happen overnight, but by following these tips, you'll enjoy a much more efficient work life.
Right. So that takes care of the session. So if you take care of the minutes, as I said, 86,400, the hours will take care of themselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Carol. That was a lovely session and definitely it was very, very invigorating. Do we have some questions? I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, who are right now with us, who have already in the session, they have some questions. You can pop up with your questions in our chat box. In the meantime, Carol, I have a question, and I think Gitika Ganjudhar also has a question. So, Gitika, if you could come up with your question.
Hi, Carol again. So, Carol, as an artist, I've been through more than 2 decades of working very, very hard. And I always saw time as an entity that must be used in a certain way, and that is overtly productive, outwardly productive. But looking back, I have realized, and I'm saying this for the benefit of all the artist members who are logged in, that time must also be used to refuel, rest, reboot, and pause. And I think that is one of the aspects of the usage of time that we as artists often tend to overlook because we're in the middle of competition. Uh, you know, we have to do those number of events every month. We've got to deliver. We've got to grow. We've got to get those awards, make those appearances. But in the middle of all of this, I feel you should also tell our artists how it's so important to use time to pause, to just stand still in that moment, rest, reboot, refuel, and come back.
Right. So, rightly said, Gitika, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Rightly said, you need to rest, refuel, reboot, and pause. Pause is the most important of this all because with the pause, you tend to gather your wits together. Okay. So if you go on rattling through a session and you've forgotten something and you want to actually reiterate a point, the best method is the pause. Pause, think, and then give your answer. And all this would come together because of your time that you're managing. How do you manage the time here? You have a few seconds for that pause. And within that pause, you've got to recollect what you have said earlier and what you want to say and combine the two and then say it. Okay, that's for the pause. Whereas rest, refuel, and reboot also would come. What activities do you do for these? You can listen to your favorite music. You can listen to your favorite podcast. You can call up a friend or a family member and speak to them about the problem or about the session or about anything under the sun where that only that person's voice is enough to calm you down and get you back on your feet. You can have a coffee break. You can have a bite, you can have a chance to meditate. So, all these things would actually come through if your time management is such that you have spare time to you have spare time to actually do all these things, and that only comes when you have your time managed well. Yes.
So that was your answer, Gitika. Carol just said it right. And that was a lovely session with you, Carol. Very empowering. And of course, we do realize that time management is also about finally not being lazy, finally not procrastinating procrastinating a lot, but getting into the action as fast as you can. And of course, not burn yourself up completely. That is
Very true.
something very important that I got from your session. Thank you so much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have some more questions, we'll again come back with them. But right now, to take today's insights even deeper, we bring to you a very power packed and a very interesting panel discussion session about time management in our creative world, that is, in our event management industry. And the panelists that I have today are Marian Menashe and Shantani Rayvardhan. Ladies and gentlemen, the session will be moderated by RJ Tuhin. Now, let me introduce, we all know our panelists and our moderators, but let me once again introduce them formally. Ladies and gentlemen, Shantani is a seasoned media and entertainment professional and the founder of Clap Curators, a boutique agency specializing in live and televised entertainment. With deep expertise in celebrity and talent management, she is known for curating impactful experiences. My next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, Marianne. We all know she's an award winning MC and engagement expert with over 2 decades of experience. She's also a practicing psychotherapist and a certified life coach. What makes Marianne's work truly unique is how she blends communication, psychology, and storytelling to create deep, meaningful impact. She's the founder of Avaz, a voice based coaching program that helps people connect with their authentic selves and speak with clarity and confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, this session will be moderated by Arche Tuhi, who is a celebrated radio personality for over the last 18 years has uh, and has interviewed some of the greats like Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, and Ranbir Kapoor. A seasoned podcaster, he has a popular show to his name called The Tuhin Show and The Fume Lounge. And now, I'm sure all of you will be giving us a very deep and thoughtful insight about how to manage time in the sphere of our own industry. Over to you, Tuhin.
Well, thank you so much, Anurima, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and all the members of EEMA. Today, we are talking about the most important aspect of our work and life, and that is time management. Time is something which never stops for anyone. Time will always tell you the past. You have seen Mahabharat, right? In that, there is a character called Samay, and it comes like My Samay. And Samay is always telling you the past. But Samay, you have to manage in the present. I'm sure a lot of you are working really, really hard, but how to manage time, when to start working on your project, how to finish before the deadline. We are going to be talking all about this. And if you have watched the cult classic movie Andaz Apna Apna, the character of Ram Gopal Bajaj, वक्त के बहुत पाबंद होते हैं, हर चीज time to time होनी चाहिए. Everything has to be on time. Well, to talk about time management, I've got two lovely ladies joining me, Shantani and Marianne. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Okay, I can't hear you guys. If
Hi,
you
Tuan. Doing
Psych-
very well. Happy to share the space with you.
awesome.
Good afternoon, Tuhin. Thank you very much. Looking
Yeah.
forward.
Both of you are looking so lovely, and we're going to talk about time now. Wow. Okay, I'm going to ask you a personal question. I'm going to start on the personal question, Marianne. Who reaches on time? You or your better half?
I reach on time.
You reach on time? Are you serious?
Very sure on that.
What about Shantani? What about you?
You know, I over the years, I'm going to be very honest because it wouldn't be fair to not. I always keep a 15-minute buffer, and when I fix a meeting with someone, I always tell them, that X with a 15-minute buffer because the way life is today, it gets difficult sometimes. So you might as well be prepared for it. And this has worked for me so far. And I don't appreciate it when I'm late. So this seems to work okay.
Such a politically correct answer you have
I'm
given.
being honest, genuinely being honest. Anybody who knows me will vouch for it.
Okay, we're going to talk about time. Since you were talking about time management, Marianne, I'm going to start with you. What is time management for you? what is the term time management for you?
I think, like we had all our speakers say, right, we only have 24 hours in a day to win. So for me, I would define time management as how we divide our time in terms of to make the best use of it, as we call productivity. And when I say that, I say that, say as an artist, okay, we are all not just a certain type of an artist. We all have multiple roles. If I'm an MC, I have other multiple identities, both professionally and personally. And that goes for all artists, most artists at least. So I think when we play out these identities in our daily lives, it's so important to give each identity the importance it deserves. And if I'm able to do that, prioritize my time and show up exactly like the way I want to show up without having to compromise with any of my identities, I think that's when I feel I'm using my time to the best of my ability.
Of course, you talk about the artist juggling multiple roles, and everybody has got different roles to play in their lives. For example, if I'm an RJ, I also go home, take care of the house as well, go play a sport as well. But as an MC, you're also going out, you have multiple roles to play. So from your personal life experience, how do you manage your time to stay aligned with each of your identities?
That's a really complex answer, but I'm going to try to give it to you. And I'm going to try to also give you maybe an example. We've had a few examples already. Okay, so I'm a person that most people who know me, okay, I have a book that looks like this. And you believe me or not, my day looks like a school timetable.
Okay.
My day starts at 6:30 and it starts with the role of being a mother. And once I send my kids to school by 7:38, I take my me time for the first 1 hour. And there's absolutely no disturbance. I don't open up myself to the outer world. But from 9 o'clock onwards, I have a schedule for my identities. That is, just to give you a sneak peek, between 9 to 11, I'm working on, maybe I'm studying. I'm preparing content for what I'm going to be teaching. So that's the role. At once, I know my event partners come by 10:30, 11. So from 11 to 2, I'm completely available for work calls and working on scripts and et cetera, et cetera. From 2 to 4, I also counsel patients who are going on renal kidney disease. So I keep that time to return calls back for counseling patients. By 4:30, I shut down my professional avatars because I'm ready to receive my kids again. So from 4:30, 6 o'clock, I try not to take any calls. But from 6 o'clock, again, my life goes back once again into doing my professional roles. And then by 7:30, I go for my workout. So you see, this is how a non-event day of mine is scheduled. Now, on an event day, things change a lot, right? Because your days just goes in preparation and stuff like that. So then I don't bring in any of my other identities to play, which means I have to catch up on the next day. So that's how I would schedule my day. But the interesting thing, something that's really worked for me, and I would love to share this with the community, and I'm sure people out there are already practicing, I also schedule the time for my season. So with my season is the best between September to March. That's when I make money going on stage. So all my time is given to, the priority is given for me to perform both as an MC or an engagement expert or a transformational speaker. And all my double comes there from there. But from April 1st till about July, August, my season is just okay. I don't go much on stage. During that time, I schedule all my classes. I teach, I mentor during that particular time. So I build a brand as a mentor and I also study during that time. So you see that upscaling happening over there. I make money while I mentor and teach, and then I upscale while I'm studying. So April to August, that's what I do with my season. So throughout the year, somehow I'm making money because like Carol said, I'm using my time efficiently. So
you're not making the fourth box for yourself. You're basically upskilling yourself. The people also say that when you are into the off season,
Mhm.
spend time on upskilling yourself, because once the work comes, you should not be running around, okay, what to do. Chandini, I'm going to talk to you about this. First, the term, what is time management for you? What is time management?
Um, Going back to what Marianne said, my time management is a little different from hers for the nature of the work that one indulges in, right? For me, it's about sitting down and planning uh, who one is interacting with, what are the pitches that people, a lot of our clients, which are agencies and production houses, etc., or brands, what their plan is, because that affects us, right? So we plan about what can be done, what is something new that can be offered once the season arrives, what is it that we can make in terms of difference from what is available already, because we primarily work with talents. So, how is it that's our upscaling, right? How is it that we can make a difference and give something new, because everybody wants to see something new? And for me, my days are very differently planned. I do like to work out in the morning. So that is my me time completely. Um, and that's the first thing I do in the morning. That sets the tone for the day. And after which there are calls, and if there are any meetings that have to be taken, one goes and does them. Or then it's about planning, it's about working on briefs, it's about finding solutions and giving interesting ideas to our clients that then are taken forth.
What is the productive use of time for you, and how has it changed over the years?
I come from a time when there was no WhatsApp and we still did this. So for me, that's the first thing I'm going to say. Life has changed, right? There was no WhatsApp and we still did everything that we do today. So for me, that's the first change. And I think it's beautiful because all of these tools that we have only enabled us to engage our core in a better way, I feel, and not just this, it's also COVID, how COVID taught us. Today we are doing this session online. Who would have thought before COVID?
Right.
Right. So I feel that it has everything evolves in life, and this is one of those things. And I also think that because of all these new applications or tools or ways to do better work, these are only things that enable us to think better and work better. So for me, time management is how best I can utilize the time I have set aside to do productive work, to do things that are important in order of priority, you
Right.
know?
The priority is very, very important. And, as
Correct.
you said, that there has to be a timetable. Now, how do you maintain that timetable? You remember during a school time, we used to get a timetable for every class.
Yeah.
And
I
I've,
am sorry, please finish.
and I've seen my seniors also writing everything in the diary. Yes, writing. People have forgotten how to write
I agree.
of paper or maintain a diary. So I think that is very, very important. They should write the task for the day. But I'm coming to the team management. When you work in teams and when you manage the teams or in collaborative setups,
Hmm.
how do you approach managing time there, Shantini?
See, the thing about a collaborative effort is while me or our team may do everything on time, we are also dependent on everyone else who's part of the project, right? So, and I think Geetika had spoken about this, and even everyone brought this into, because it's not just one person. Everything has a cascading effect, and everyone has to do their bit. So while we may think, oh, मैं time पे आई हूँ, मेरे सब चीज, all my things are in order, it doesn't work. It goes out of the window if everyone else doesn't feel the same way. So yes, it's about making sure and constant communication. I believe our business, in general is about communication.
Right.
And communication is so important, right? Everyone has their struggles, their problems. Acha, kuch theek nahi hai, technical issue, that one talent hasn't woken up from sleep. I don't know, falana dimkana. But the fact of the matter is, everybody has to come together. No event is, no one person can take credit for an event because there are hundreds of people working, some in front of the screen, some behind the scenes. So
Right.
I believe that it's about holding hands and respecting everyone's work. That's the only way an event can be successful, genuinely.
On this, I remember I was going to an event and there was a
Mhm.
rehearsal as well. So I was called 10 o'clock in the morning. I went 10 o'clock in the morning and my turn came right in the end because other rehearsals were going on. So that is okay. You have to be on time. You have to be there and everything has to be there. You can be called anytime. That is what happens in movie shoots as well. You're sitting, just chill, relax, you're on time, and you can be called anytime. You should not be running helter-skelter after that. Marian, tell me one thing. How do you make sure that other person works on time? Like for example, you have an event and the vendor is taking his or her sweet time to finish that. What do you do during that? Do you change the vendor or do you deal with the same vendor?
Fortunately or unfortunately, I'm never in that situation to win because I'm an artist. So I just work with any vendors, and I think that becomes my event partner's take. So fortunately, I'm not in that space. Um, and unfortunately, I don't get to choose the vendor. So whoever's there, I just got to work with them. But I can answer that question from an artist perspective. Okay. And this is a very important point that I'm actually making over here. Because today we had Geetika, we had Anurima, we had Sonu, who spoke about some real life situations that could happen on a day of an event where where there is some disaster that happened, we show up late. Okay, but I'm going to take you back, say about 2, 3 months back. Okay, I did a little survey because this was a question in my mind for a long time. Because we have a lot of artists who talk about, you spoke about vendors, but I'm just talking about the time of an artist, which could include a collaborative space with the vendors, with the client, with this. So I'm going to say that from that perspective. So I decided to do a survey. Okay, and I decided to do a survey with about 100 people. 100 artists and 100 event managers. So I created this Google form, how early is too early for that to show up in a venue. And I sent it out. And when I sent it out, I had about 60% of artists who voted for I should be in a venue somewhere between 30 to 45 minutes before the event. Okay. And the remaining 40% said about an hour. I did the same survey with the event manager, and the event manager says, I need my artist to be there at least somewhere between 60 to 90 minutes. And if it's a big project, then it's 90 to 2 hours. Okay. Now, look at this. We have no scenario. We are not in a situation. This is a very well pre-planned, preconceived notion of when I should show up and what is my responsibility. So I'm going to ask you this question, Tuin. Where do you think is the gap over here?
Gap is you should be prepared. As an artist, you should be prepared. And for the event manager, you should assure that everything will be taken care. So leave this part to me. And
Is a panic situation for everyone, no matter how big or small the event is. End of the day, there's someone spending money for their brand. We are nobody to say that we're going to come 30 minutes before. I'm sorry, I don't agree with you because I believe there is so much at stake. I've been through a rigmarole in my life where I've seen some of the biggest names, some who have come on time, and there have been wardrobe disasters. I don't know, the silliest of things that you don't even think about. And these are very, very big names. Please understand the implications, both international and domestic, let me assure you. I'm afraid I cannot take names because it wouldn't be professional.
right.
But they have turned around and said that because of a glitch, whether it's their own costume department or shoe department or whatever, the media is waiting. the media is not kind to talents. So while you may directly not be answerable to the media, a lot of people are. So because of a small issue like that, which it doesn't seem small at that point, believe you me, I've been in those situations. And again, on the contrary, just someone not being there, because our industry, our event industry is dynamic. There are changes all the time in a script. Geetika will know this, Anurima will know this, Mariam, you will know this, because there are constantly things that are being updated. So if a presentation is being updated, it impacts the script. If somebody is being asked to go before, after, it just impacts everything. We do not have the luxury of not having the host there well before time to deal with all of this. Because obviously, as a woman, I can speak from a point of view that your outfit, you're on stage, I'm not. But I have to ensure that you get on stage, right? So your outfit, your makeup, your general well-being, you have to be calm and centered. You're going on stage in front of hundreds of people who are watching you. One mistake, and we've all been there, right? One mistake, and no matter how good the event is, everybody remembers that mess up. So I feel that perhaps from an event point of view, we don't like to take the risk because there are so many people staring at our faces saying, "Tumhari MC nahi aayi." You know, we've all been there. हाँ मेरी MC late है, अब मैं क्या करूँ, मैं कर दूँ? You know, like that's all I can say, right? Okay, I can do the voiceover, I can help in whatever way. We've been through that. I just feel for everyone's general state of mind, it's better that people come on time and we keep adequate buffers. Unfortunately, like they say, due to a few rotten apples, everyone has to bear with the basket. Same story here. Unfortunately, because of past experiences or traumas, everybody has to follow this today. And yes, we keep buffers. We don't have a choice. Genuinely, I'm saying that. For you, it may be just that one event where you come and say 10 lines, but it has a larger impact that's way out of control otherwise.
Well, totally.
No offense to anybody.
Yes,
Tuin, can I add in something here? You want to say something?
so Mariam, I'll come to
Right.
you and sort of set the mood of this discussion. It's a discussion on time management. We are not debating on anything. There's no debate between artist and the event manager.
Of
Okay.
course.
So don't get into a debate. And I will also go back to Sonu. Sonu mentioned that his second MC came half an hour late and could not enter, and it was the minister's event. So you have to be well in time. I totally agree with that. Reach 2, 3 hours before, go have coffee, go wash your face. In ladies' scenario, don't go wash your face, just go dab it. Relax, chill. The exercises I told you, do that. Write down things, walk up and down. So, Mary, you were saying something. Tell me.
Yeah. So I'm going to come back to my survey again. And Shai, thank you very much for sharing that perspective. And Tuin, you are absolutely right. And I'm just going to share it as my perspective. I might be right, I might be wrong, but I'm just going to share it like the way I believe and what I've spoken to my event partners and artists. So you see, there is absolutely no connection between what is needed and what the artists think is needed. And there is also a psychological game that is being played over there. When I'm asked to come an hour and a half or 2 hours early, the artist, not I, but the artist, generally, a lot of artists think that the psychological message is, you don't trust me, I'm a professional.
Yeah.
But from the event manager's space, it's a very different call. You know what? I trust you the most, so I want you to be present there, because if you're present there, I can just hand over a huge chunk of my responsibility, because at the end of the day, you are the captain of the ship. So you see, the need of that support is really not communicated too much. And the second point that I realize is, and I don't know, many artists might beat me up for this, but I'm still going to say it like the way I believe what is happening. Many artists show up there because they think they are paid for their time. Once, 1, 2, 3, go on stage. But we are not robots. We can't switch on and switch off. We need to understand that the reason we go earlier to that space is, as the pilot of that particular event, I need to ground myself. I need to understand the energy in the space. I need to connect with my event partner. I need to have the rapport with my artist because I want to string all these guys together. And even if it's an event that is perfectly curated, you have no idea whether there's going to be some hiccups that might need me to be around. So an artist needs to realize that there's a difference between appearance and presence. Appearance is when you show up right there and you go on stage and you're doing what you do the best of your ability. But presence is when you show up earlier. You ground the space. And trust me, the way the audience receive you is a very different experience. And this is my take on that subject.
For sure. You know, I'm going to say something, add one thing here. I personally believe, and everyone that I've worked with so far from our end, we believe that a host makes or breaks a show. We are so dependent. There can be a dance act, there can be a music act, they can come and do their bit and go home. But this job is by far the most important because you're the thread for the whole event. If that is not in place, there's trouble. You know?
Very true.
So, yes, I agree with you. And I guess we can keep debating about this. And everyone's right and everyone's wrong.
So on that, I have a question. We are of course talking about time management. We're talking about the event managers take so much of pain. They give so much of time. They work with so many people in conjunction and put up an event. So my question is, what does respecting others' time mean to you? I'm going to take you one by one on this, okay? What does respecting others' time mean to you? I've seen that people give appointments as well, but they do not turn up or don't pick up the call. That is where the artists normally get dejected because for them, it's a very, very important call. Or from the event manager's point of view, if somebody has given you the time to talk or to meet and somebody is turning up late, what is respecting other time mean to you, Shantani?
You know, like everyone else, nobody likes to be kept waiting and nobody likes to be disrespected. So if I am respecting your time and what you bring to the table, you might as well do the same thing. Fortunately for me, a no-show hasn't happened so far. But yeah, but you know, when it comes to calls, people could be busy, they could have been tied up, they could be something. So a text, I think, you know, just makes the other feel that you care. You're not treating the other person like some, you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry. A message that, look, I'm sorry, I'm running late or whatever, and I will be with you soon, or I'm sorry, I can't speak to you now, I will bring you back. That's good enough, you know, I think, personally for me. And so far, a no-show hasn't happened, but never say never.
No show, I can't even believe no show has happened. But I've heard stories. So yeah, Mary, what do you have to say about respecting others' time?
I really believe that a great leader and a great quality human being respects the time of another person. And there is absolutely, and you know, I read somewhere, Govind, the more you grow in life and the more you achieve, your time is scarce because you're in multiple places. And I read this that you respect people's time more. So most of us do the opposite. I'm very busy. I can't. No, there is something going wrong over there. And that talks about the kind of human being you are. So
That is beautiful. So I'm gonna talk about being productive when you're not working and you do things you like to do. So there are times when you do things you like to do, and that makes you more productive. What are these things, and how do you put that forward? I'll ask Mary.
did you say more productive or no productive?
More productive. If you, in your free time, you do whatever you like to do, but you're doing something. You're not watching TV or you're not watching reels, but you're doing something what you like to do. it makes you more productive?
So, Tuan, I'm sure you'll agree with me on this time. Time is a very, very subjective experience. And I'll give you a simple example. You go on a holiday and you see that your holiday gets over just like that, right? And then you're sitting at home and you're having a bad day, you're having a fight with a friend or your spouse or whatever. The day just drags like as if it's never ending. Have you experienced that, Tuan?
Yes.
Yeah.
All
So you
holidays.
see, so Shai, have you experienced this?
No, because for me, I'd rather go. I mean, I don't know, go to the pool and swim or go and get a massage at the spa if I'm on holiday. That is.
Yeah. But do you feel like
I don't like
your
to be in
time
bad
is
energy.
no,
I
no,
don't
but do you
like to
feel
be.
like when you're doing things that you really love doing, that the time is going, oh my God, it's already 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Of course,
So
always.
time is a very, very subjective experience that one has an internal experience about. And here's where I'm trying to connect this point to doing things that we love. Sometimes we do things that we love that is not considered productivity from the outside world, right? And simple, okay? For me, my silence is the most productive time in my day. The time I take a pause is the most productive time in my day. It really helps me refuel for me to come back stronger, to come back in my Kali avatar. But without that silence and that pause, I don't think I could show up like the way I can. But now, when you see the external world would never understand the productivity of me doing something like that. Another thing is sometimes a lot of us on this call that I personally know, we do a lot of acts that comes from a place of love and kindness. We don't even know the difference that our acts make, and we just do it.
Wow.
Right? But that is time. And I don't do it with an idea thinking, oh, okay, this is a change that's going to happen. I do it because it makes me feel a certain way. It makes me feel, maybe it's my ego, it makes me feel good about myself, but who cares? I like it and I will do it because that's who I chose to be. So when you do things that you love, sometimes it's not tangible, but I'm telling you, those are the most productive things in life.
Wow. Shantini, what do you have to add to that? You said
I fully agree with you,
Right.
Marianne, because I feel I had mentioned earlier that I like to do yoga, I like to work out, whatever. I play pickleball. Now, these are all things I do to feel good. You know, it makes me feel happy. The endorphins are in place. You feel energized and you feel you can tackle anything that comes your way. Head do anything that they need to do better. And I would recommend that walking for all I care. But all of this makes us do everything that we
So basically, the thing is, whatever you like to do when you're doing that, your brain is charged up, and if some ideas are coming, you write those ideas down and be ready for any kind of event. If you're going to the office, if you are going to an event, if you're hosting an event, whatever you're doing in your professional life, you are ready to take on that. That is why the routine is very important, and that is what Carol has showed us. She told us about how to manage your entire day. Spending time with yourself is very, very, very important in time management. Last couple of questions I'm going to ask and then take questions from the audience. What is one piece of time advice you swear by? I'm going to ask you, Mary.
I think I'll go back to my previous answer, but I'll phrase it a little bit differently. I think most people consider time equivalent to action, equivalent to productivity. I think that, and equivalent to result that's tangible. Most of us look at time that way. But my secret mantra is PIN. Time is equivalent to pause, is equivalent to productivity. And that mantra is worked for me. I can't tell you. It's something that one experiences. So that's my secret about time.
Okay, can we bring Shantini back? Yes, you are back. Welcome back. What is the time management mantra for you?
You're muted.
Muted. Yes.
Everything gets connected, right? A well-rested night is unbeatable. You can take on the world if you're rested and you feel, energized and happy. Um, that's the first thing for me, my mantra. Secondly, it's about listing down, and I'll be honest, like back in school, I do not write anymore. I'm one of those. I work out of notes. But I do work out of notes. I have a to-do list for every day. Could be personal, could be professional, could be separate ones, but notes. Well, frankly, they haven't been they haven't gotten done for whatever reason, right? But these are things for me. If I'm not rested, I'm a different monster, and I think it's not pleasant. Let's just be very nice and politically correct, like you said earlier. But yeah, my mantra is good rest, and the mind has to be in place. Sometimes, and I'll be very honest, there are times I love playing pickleball. Okay, and I've heard it from my teammates sometimes that your mind's not here. It shows. It shows on the face. It shows in your body language. There's nothing that no matter how hard we work, we can work like donkeys for 40 hours and still the work will not be up to the mark. I'll be honest, when I used to work in a job scenario, there used to be a whole sign in at 10 o'clock. I never believed in all that because nobody's watching us when we are up till 4 o'clock working, right? So why should these rules be made? For me, it's about getting the job done, not how you do it and where you do it from. You could be sitting on the beach and working. I've done it. It's so inspiring to watch the sea and do work. There's no problem. In fact, I have a friend who even resigned from the beach, but we'll not go there. But just funny incident. But genuinely, I believe good rest and inspiration. No matter what you do.
Don't look at the time. Just be productive in whatever you put in.
Correct.
Everything you're putting in, you have to be productive there.
Even if it's 1 hour or 2 hours of work you're doing, if you put your 100%, and we are told that we don't even use 20% of our brains. So if we put 100% of our energy, we're home. So I don't believe in, subah se sham kaam karo 8 hours every day. Marianne, it's fabulous you're able to do it. I'm not that. But and if it does, I'll call you.
Dubal, I'm going to ask you the last question. It's a quick question. Mary, if time is money, where are people spending it?
Where are people spending it?
Where are people wasting it? If time is money, where are people wasting this money according to you?
I don't know. Some people are going to hold me by my throat for this answer, but I'm going to say it like the way I truly believe it. I think if time was money, where is people wasting it? I think they're not wasting it, but they're not balancing it well. I think most of them are investing it into the uh, external investments, external validations, external achievements, and the external ego of the human being. And I think there's very less investment done into the internal journey, the quality of human being you are. And I will bet on this answer, even though I may not sound politically right, but that's the truth.
No, you're right.
Chandani, where are people spending their time, money, according to you?
Sorry, you're freezing once in a way. So, for me, I feel if time was money, people would be more conscious of how they are spending their time. You know, it's with money that's and that's the problem. If only how Carol said earlier, the number of minutes we have in a day, and if 86 something thousand rupees was equal to a minute or a day, if people thought like that, I guess we would be far, far more productive. But we don't think that way. And it's my learning that maybe I should look at it like money and pay more attention to time. One has to. Nobody can say that they utilize time to the best of their ability. I don't. I have lots to learn and a long way to go. I would be dishonest if I said otherwise. Having said that, that's life, right? We learn, we evolve, and we try to do better.
Keep learning. According to one research, 57% of our money is spent online. And I think when time is money, that time is also wasted online watching a lot of things. And, when we are stuck into scrolling the reels.
Yeah, Tuan. So why do you think we're doing that?
I don't know.
It's an occupational hazard. I have to be on the phone.
No, I think we're doing that because we are looking for validation. We are looking to go out there and see what the world is doing and how do I fit into the world. And that's exactly what I said. We are spending most of the time trying to fit into the world and make sense to the world rather than pulling back and going back into ourselves, because each of us are so unique as a brand, as an individual. And that's what we are not doing with our time. And that's exactly what I was trying to say, that most of us are out there. And one of the examples is us scrolling on Instagram or any social media.
Do something here, Marianne. I fully agree. But the nature of my work is such. Say Tuhin, okay? Tuhin is an RJ. I love this whole foreign motion thing that we're doing. I love it. So Tuhin, you are an RJ, you are a podcaster, whatever. Tomorrow, you might start playing the guitar and singing. If I don't follow you, I'll never know. For my work, it's imperative that I try to look at what a person, a celebrity or a talent is capable of. Now, this person may also be upscaling themselves and turning their hobbies into something. For me, for example, nobody was more surprised than me when we heard Adarsh Gaurav sing, the actor. Supremely talented actor, but he's a trained singer. Right. Now, it's incredible, right? How I would love to work with him and bring to the forefront his musical ability and his talent rather than what he already is known for. So for me, it's an occupational hazard. I have to be on social media checking out what the world is doing.
That's awesome. That's how you're managing time. Marianne, you have told us how you're managing your time. I've got some questions coming up. There's a question coming from Rajesh. Rajesh is saying how to deal with people who do not respect our time.
Marianne, would you like to answer that?
How do you deal with those people? Ignore.
So first and foremost, I'd like Rajesh to tell me whether they are personal relationships or professional relationships. Okay, that's a very important thing over here. Okay, because and both require communication. There is no compromise on that. Because if I'm going to let somebody take my time for granted, it only shows me, Rajesh, how much I respect myself. So whoever it is, whether it is somebody at a higher level, it's your girlfriend or your wife or whoever, mother, I think it's very important for you to put your point across of what your time means to you. Get their perspective. They might have a reason, which is fair enough, and you can respect it, but it's important for you to value your time first. And that's my take on that question.
Chandani, do you have any comment on that?
Sure. Hi, Rajesh. If somebody doesn't disrespect your time, please sit them down and tell them that everyone's time is valuable. And if it's a client, then we have to zip it and move on and continue to do what we do. But if it's a personal relationship, for sure, make them understand that it's not acceptable.
Spoken like a true artist manager. Okay, I've got a question coming from Aditya. Deadlines, stage time, prep time, travel. What's your formula for staying sharp and showing up at 100%? I think all the artists would understand this, but
Yeah.
I think we spoke about it, right? So in fact, I remember Shai and myself were talking yesterday, and there's actually a very interesting factor when it comes to showing up on time, because some artists are very comfortable only reaching the venue and dressing up, and some are very comfortable doing it at home. So it's a very subjective thing. If you
Correct.
know that you are going, I'm going to come 1.5 hours early, but you're not telling the event partner, I'm going to come 1.5 hours early and dress up there and do my makeup there. He or she thinks that whole 1.5 hours is for him or her. So I think you need to be able to factor out there is no compromise about you spending, according to me, at least an hour in your venue with your peers. And if you have other things to do, you need to know if you're wearing a sari, you know how complex that is, at least for me. You need to be able to plan it out and schedule it and be honest to yourself, because you genuinely know what time is needed for you to be ready and what time is needed for you to be present. And that's the difference.
Super. So,
for me, if a talent is not on time, it means the work is not important enough for them.
right.
And I'm sorry, it's a paid job. It's even if it's FOC, it shows how. And Geetika, you will understand this. There are so many times you have to do things which are not paid, right? It's a job, but you do it because out of respect, out of a relationship, or whatever. But the fact of the matter remains, if you don't give equal importance, whether it's paid or not, that means you're not serious about what you do. Why should other people take you seriously then?
An event is an event, and it is an event. So
Yeah.
you have to take it seriously.
Correct.
So I'm going to take it very quickly. Deadline, stage time, prep time, travel. Plan everything, Aditya. For your prep time, you have to start 2 days in advance or 3 days in advance. Whenever you start your research, start writing your stuff, start taking down your pointers. Travel time, always keep traffic in mind. Reach on time. Stage time is all yours. Event people give you the stage time that this is your time and you have to stick to that. So be in that. And deadlines are, of course, there to meet, and you have to be prepared a day in advance, not on the day of the event. Okay, so I have a question from Kriti. In the world that runs 24/7, how do you protect your time and your peace? Shayantri.
After all these years, I feel that you have to slow down in your head and tell yourself that everything is compartmentalized. And if there's an event, yes, there'll be 2 or 3 days of mayhem and madness and whatever. It doesn't mean you have to live that life all the time. We all have. I have done it for many, many years. And I told myself that, there has to be a better way of working, maybe. And I constantly try and do that. But yes, I'm not proud of not sleeping for 3 days anymore. I don't do these things anymore. I've done it. I've had my share. Today, I feel that, being present wholly and fully and giving your 100% is better than, staying up and not sleeping and things, because it shows in your work. No matter, we are not superhuman and everyone's not Shah Rukh Khan. So.
Super. So maintain your time, maintain your peace, and this is also about when I raise the question, respect others' time. When people ask you, this is for the artist and event managers both. When event people say that, oh, it's a work for 15 minutes, remember it's a half day blockage for you, or probably 2 days block for you, thinking about you. So how do you maintain that? I'm gonna ask you, Shantini, how do you maintain that when people it's okay, it's coming on a very different note now. Time, respecting others' time, and when people mention the remuneration as well. Your work is for 15 minutes on stage, but it's not 15 minutes, it's more than that. How do you want to tell other people about this?
I think she's stuck. So I'll take that question as an artist.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah. So for me, in the initial part of my career, I did go through this problem. The brief will be like, it's only 10-15 minutes. No, especially for events like press meet and all that stuff. Only 5-6 lines. So I learned it the hard way. So one thing that I learned is today when I charge, Thuan, it really helps. It helps. I don't charge for the event. I charge for my time. So I've broken up my event into slots. So obviously we all know we have an evening slot, we have a morning slot for a conference. It could be the whole day. And for team building, again, it could be the whole day. So I charge for my time. I factor that into consideration. Whether you take 10 minutes, whether you take 15 minutes, I'm going to charge for my time. So that has helped me work through this problem, because this is a real problem for artists.
There's one more question which is coming. A huge percentage of creative people suffer from ADHD, according to recent survey. How do they inspire themselves? Shantini,
I'd like to take that answer, guys.
yes,
Since it's on mental health a little bit, and I'm going to give you my perspective.
please.
I think number one, and I have a very strong opinion when I say this, it's very easy for us to give labels because it's just a way and it's a mechanism for us to deal with something that is not normalized by society. And please note, something like ADHD is one of those easy labels to do. What are the symptoms of ADHD? Somebody who's extremely fidgety, somebody who's extremely fast and cannot stay put in one side, right? And I'm also going to quote an example if I can, but I believe a person with an ADHD problem, there is something wrong with the environment around them for them to show up the way they do. And there is a lot of neuroscience behind this. So with regards to connection with time, if you're a person who functions most effectively, doing multiple things and juggling multiple roles, go for it. Go for it. It works for you. I'm not going to call it a name, but I was having this conversation with an MC, one of the best in the country. And the MC mentioned to me that I was diagnosed with ADHD at a very young age. And the MC also told me how he/she used the ADHD to the best of her potential to do something so magical with that energy he/she has on stage and to create that brand.
Correct.
So I think any labels is just a coping mechanism. If that's treated as your strength, go for it.
Super. Shantini, I'm going to ask you your closing remarks on time management. And before that, I would also want to know, you are into artist management. You manage so many artists and celebs. How do you manage the time of everyone together?
We keep buffers, no? Don't have an option. Because one person being late can impact the whole event. I'm sorry, but if you imagine an event, it's the fulcrum, and it's pretty much like the galaxy, right? There are planets all around. Everyone has to come together. So we cannot take a risk of somebody being late. Of course, there are things that happen, late shows happen. It's not nice. It's not acceptable. So we have to keep, we have to be sure and we have to keep adequate buffers. And I'm very honest with them. I'm saying this is your time, please follow it. And when we have multiple artists, some really, really senior people, all of that, I feel when an artist agree to take on a job, they want to do it. They want to be a part of it.
Have you ever have you,
So
have you ever refused a celeb not to step on the stage because the celeb is late?
not not like not allowed them on stage because have to if somebody's showed up, they've showed up. There
Yeah.
could be multiple reasons.
Have you
But
ever kept a backup for another artist?
I haven't had to so far. Like, thank you, but no, it's not happened in my tenure so far. But I have done a stop payment in the past for a talent
So
because
you
they
have
didn't fulfill their responsibility despite taking on a job, and that's not cool.
so
You
Marion
know,
is always there to tell you all about time management. If you have any mental health issue, also please talk to her. She will guide you in everything. Shantani is always there to pick you if you are a good artist, a good celeb, and of course, managing the time is very, very important. Otherwise, Shantani won't pay you. Okay, you have to be.
not like that. But yeah, I just think that everyone has to take their role very seriously. If everyone else is, it's not a joke, you know. I mean, we are dependent on talents to make an event what it is. We have to remember one thing, and I'm going to say this because I say this every second day, that an event can happen without a talent. Okay, talents are there when everything is perfect. Like, for example, if there's a war which is happening in the world today, nobody wants to celebrate. If they have to launch a car, they can launch a car without a talent. But if things are all right, hunky dory, and we want to do a great event, we need the talent. Everyone has to remember that they have a role to play. If you don't take your role seriously, someday people will turn. And with AI doing what it is doing right now, we have to be really sure that the humane element, human beings bring emotions, and that emotion turns into energy to make an event what it is, right? It's all about energy. So it's really important that we take this role very seriously. That's my belief.
Take the role very, very seriously. Take the time seriously. I would invite Gitika Ganjudhar to join us in this session and wrap this session for us. Can we have Gitika on the panel?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Tuhin. Thank you. So I've been glued to listening to the both of you. Thank you so much for all your inputs, as expected from both the brilliant, candid, outspoken ladies. I have a few very important things that I thought we didn't kind of touch, which I wanted to say for our artist members. One, time as an entity is also very powerful, and also by nature is a very overpowering element. So, uh, a small tip here: when you deal with time, you've got to do so with clarity. One, and with the energy of confidence, and not panic. Two. So I thought I'll share this with you. Thirdly, time is cyclical. So for a lot of us who have FOMO and who panic and who want to do more with their time than they're able to, who are constantly beating themselves down, expecting much more of others. Time is cyclical. So it is creation, preservation, destruction, creation, preservation, destruction. So if your intentions are good and you are, and the universe is with you, uh, you know what you want to do will get done in the due course of time. So one, the energy you give to time is the energy the time will give back to your life, is what I wanted to say. The other thing, I wanted to make my humble comments on the reporting time bit very quickly, because it's very important, and a lot of event managers call me and tell me that you're upskilling artists, you're doing this, you're doing that, but unko kuch to bolo ki aisa na kare, waisa na kare, ye kare, wo kare. Like my friend said, thing is that as an artist, I feel you are an artist, right? As a singer, as an MC, we go on to a location, you're an artist. The whole genre is very giving. It's more giving than taking an act when you're an artist. Please understand that. That's how this energy has been created by divine. So when you reach about 2 hours earlier or 3 hours earlier, uh, you may have written your lines. Mostly people don't learn them up, but if you have learned your lines, great. You may have your stylist in order, your makeup, your everything in order. But like Marianne also said, you have to reach a little before and connect with the energy of that event. Because when the audiences come together, if there are 100 people in the audience, there are 100 different energies that have come in. You can, even if you reach at 9:05 and the event starts at 9:10, you can do your job. Aisa nahi hai. You will be able to do your job. You won't make a mistake also probably. But I'm giving you a guarantee, it won't be a legendary performance. And this, I remember a very, very popular anchor had told me in 2018 or 19, I was sitting with her. And she had come to my house for a cup of tea and she said that, you really have spoiled it for all of us. And what is the need to reach so many hours before? हर event मुगले आजम थोड़ी होता है. बॉस, हर इवेंट मुगले आजम ही होता है. उसके लिए जो पैसा डाल रहा है, अपने जेब से 2 रुपए निकाल के तो देखो, पता चलेगा कि हर इवेंट मुगले आजम क्यों होता है. So my thing is that if you see a career as a money-making proposition, then probably you're less of an artist and more of an creative entrepreneur, and you roll and you make your money. But if you're here to kind of leave a legacy, to create magic, to change human lives and to transform the world, then you will have to come that 2-3 hours earlier. I also want to pack another punch here and say that अगर इतना black and white हमको रखना है, that मैं 1 घंटा पहले नहीं आऊंगी या 1.5 घंटा पहले आऊंगी या 3 घंटे पहले नहीं आऊंगी. So let us then, if you're going to monetize it to this degree, which is fair enough, you can do it, then we'll monetize your mistakes also. We'll monetize the loss that the client goes through when you screw their brand. Sorry to use this word. So this monetization and this heavy-handedness and this precision and all one way. Then they also are from the event manager's side. And we must all remember, we are dancing a dance on a stage that is actually built by them. They are the ones whose monies are at stake. They are the ones who are taking loans and funding that event. Payments come 3 months later. Please understand all this, guys. There is an economics behind an event. There are commercial things happening. There's a lot of stress for that event manager, the talent manager. So अगर थोड़ा सा हम cooperate करें तो अच्छा रहेगा. कई सारे लोग 3-3 शिफ्ट करते हैं दिन के. वो फिर इवेंट मैनेजर पे डिपेंडेंट है, आप उनको लेना भी चाहो या नहीं. And lastly, I wanted to say that, the last thing, a tip as someone who's been around for pretty much a long time, and this I really, really earnestly want some of you to please understand, because when I'm doing industry events, I don't hardly do any industry events anymore as a host, but I attend some of them and I'm observing. And for me, the mark of a very serious professional is somebody, if you're hosting the show tomorrow morning and boss, you're still partying at 2 a.m., then I'm worried. Okay. So I remember last time at Imagine, I was told to open for an hour. And a lot of my friends said that, why aren't you attending that party, that fabulous party they had the night before? And I've been doing this for almost 22 odd decades now. But I just still can't just get the guts, man. Stay awake till 2 at night, and then, because one has to wake up at 5 a.m., you're rehearsing your lines, you're calming down your energy, you're reaching X time before, and कैसे करते हो यार, जो भी करते हो, but कुछ ना कुछ तो गड़बड़ होती ही होगी. So ये भी time management है. ये सब time and discipline go hand in hand. Time and kindness go hand in hand. Time and giving go hand in hand. And if you are an artist, please take all the tips we have tried to give you today. But if you're a creative entrepreneur, then keep your expectation like that from this business, because we are on Indian land. This is Bharat. This is a land that thrives on the energy of love. It will never be cut and dry on this land, not today, not tomorrow, not for the next 100 years. So thank you once again to Tuhin. Tuhin, if you want to wrap it up, I just wanted to come in and give these few tips, and thank you from me.
Well, thank you so much. We, of course, talked about how to chalk out the timetable, how to be productive in your free time, do things you love to do so that you are energized. Write the pointers. If you have any idea, please pick up a pen and paper, start writing it, because pen and paper is still something when you write it, it stays in your head. Spend time on your scripts, reach to the events on time, and please pay on time.
Of course.
On that note, thank you so much, Marianne. Thank you so much, Shantini. We are going
Thank
over.
you so much, Tuheen.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tuheen, and thank you to all our panelists for giving us a very insightful and a very deep-rooted session. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think what the idea, the crux of the whole session that I got from there is discipline and time management goes hand in hand. So if you're a disciplined person and if you are ready to enjoy your life and every moment of it, there is always a way for it. And as we always say, from the very हिट बॉलीवुड मूवी बाबू मोशाय, जिंदगी बड़ी होनी चाहिए, लंबी नहीं। अब लाइफ लंबी है या छोटी ये तो हमें पता नहीं, बट लाइफ बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, टाइम इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, सो मेक मोस्ट ऑफ इट एंड लिव योर लाइफ, एंजॉय योर टाइम हैप्पीली। थैंक यू एंड हैव अ गुड डे।